For 2012, Honda came out with a new, completely redesigned Civic, and it wasn't actually very good. So they kind of went back to the drawing board, fixed everything that was wrong with it, came out with it again in 2013, and it's actually pretty darn good. The folks at Paragon Honda were good enough to lend us this 2012 Civic for comparison. You can tell right off the bat the outside looks a lot better. But check out the inside. In this old 2012 Civic, and my dentist office got a nicer interior than this. Cheap hard plastics, ugly colors, doesn't even smell very good. And speaking of dentist offices, the steering, Novocaine, not a lot of feel to it. And it's not very direct either. I feel like I can't tell what the car is doing until I see it move, which is not how I like to drive. I want to be able to feel what the car is doing. That's much better on the new version. One of the biggest changes they made was in the sound of the car. It's the same engine in 2012 and 2013, but in this car, 2012, it sounds rough, harsh, kind of nasty. New one, it's a lot better. Now the 2013 Civic, you can tell right off the bat from the outside, just looks like a much nicer car. New grille, fancy new taillights, and the interior definitely looks a lot better. The design's not very different, but the materials are much improved. It even feels nicer. Steering likewise feels a lot better than last year's car. I don't get every bump and ripple in the road, but there's much more of a sense of control. When I go through a corner, I can feel through my hands what the car is doing without having to wait for my eyes to tell me what's happening. Suspension likewise. The ride is smoother, but the body movements feel more controlled. The fact is, this car has mostly the same parts as last year's. The engineers and designers just did a much better job with them. I'm not sure why it couldn't have been this good from the start. The really amazing thing is, despite all the problems the 2012 Civic had, it still managed to be the best-selling compact car in America. That's an awful lot of people that really should have waited.